Hi all, let's see what is dependency injection in ASP.NET Core and why should dependency injection. Before that, we check a sample code without dependency injection. Here I created a new ASP.NET Core MVC application. When created a new application, you can see a folder structure like this. Here inside model folder, I created a student detail model with 4 properties: ID, name, grade, section, and I created a iStudent repository interface. Inside this interface, I declared a get student detail method and returning list of student detail. I implemented iStudent repository interface inside student repository class. Here I inherited iStudent repository interface inside this student repository class and implemented get student detail method. Inside this method, I created a sample records of the student and returning that list of it. In home controller, I created an object of iStudent repository interface and assigning student repository class of it, because we implemented iStudent repository inside a student repository class. By using this object, I am returning list of students inside index view. In view, I imported the model initially, and by using for each, I am displaying this list of student details. Let's check it by running. The list of student detail displaying correctly. In home controller, we have created object of iStudent repository and assigning student repository to it directly. This makes our app to work fine, but a problem with this approach is that it's tightly coupled of home controller with student repository. Later, if we provide new implementation for this iStudent repository, and if we want to use that new implementation instead of student repository, the code of this home control we have to change. If one implementation we can change, if we want to change 10 or more, then the job is difficult. To overcome this problem, we are using dependency injection. Dependency injection makes our code loosely coupled and easy to unit test. To make this code loosely coupled, first remove the assigned implementation of the interface. Then create a constructor and inject that interface. Here I created a constructor and inject the interface. Here we are not creating instance to iStudent repository interface. Instead, we are injecting this iStudent repository interface using its constructor. This is called a constructor injection. When someone requesting iStudent repository services, that is methods, we want ASP.NET Core to create an instance of student repository class and inject that instance into the controller. By default, ASP.NET Core dependency injection system will not able to do that. We have to register our interface and its implementation, that is student repository class, with ASP.NET Core dependency injection container. We do this in startup.cs file. In configure service function, add a service using add singleton method, register our interface along with implementation of that interface. We implemented iStudent repository interface inside student repository class. You can register add singleton, add scoped or add transient method. I'm using add singleton method. Let's run and check. Here in view, The list of student detail displaying successfully. Here, ASP.NET Core create an instance of student repository class and inject that instance into our controller. This makes our code works. So here we are not assigning implementation of the interface. We are assigning the implementation of the interface in startup.cs. So in future, if you want to implement this iStudent repository interface into multiple controller, no need to change in every controller pages. Just modify this, just modify in startup.cs file only. Let's check it. Go to student repository. Just to create another class, implement that interface method inside this new class, then remove it in old class. Here I modify the class, so no need to change controller file, just modify in startup.cs file only. Let's run. Here list of student detail displaying successfully. So dependency injection makes our code loosely coupled and easy to unit test. So dependency injection is a design pattern in which a class or object has its dependent classes injected rather than create them directly. Dependency injection makes our code loosely coupled and easy to test. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.